Everybody, please put your hands together for the fantastic Doris Hiam Galvez. Thank you very much. Doris, over to you.
Thank you, Sarah, for having me here today. I believe that we can create prosperity while protecting the environment and improving the quality of life of local communities. Today, I will share a vision, one where the extractive industry becomes a catalyst for vibrant, thriving regions. This vision is encapsulated in designing sustainable prosperity, a method and process that enables the creation of resilient and sustainable regions. Next slide, please. The risks facing resource-rich regions include climate change, reliance on a commodity economy, and shortage of skilled labor. DSP, which we will say DSP from now on, which is Designing Sustainable Prosperity, tackles these challenges with a holistic approach, unlocking untapped potential for system-wide solution that addresses climate change. It pioneers innovative solutions to diversify and scale the economy, positioning the region as leaders in the knowledge economy. Once the focus is identified, the education system is adapted to provide skills for sustainable prosperity. Next slide, please. As shown in this slide, a regional economic activity is plotted on the vertical axis and time on the horizontal axis. The red curve represents the economic vulnerability of these resource-rich regions. It shows an increase in economic activity during operations, followed by a decline as resources are depleted. The yellow curve illustrates how the support industries follow a similar trend. The preferred outcome is, of course, shown in the green curve, is to sustain a stable, livable level of economic activity that extends beyond the life of extractive operation. This represents a big shift from a mining-centric mindset to one focused on regional prosperity. Next, please. This is the way it would look on a major copper mining project. DSP is shown in the green curve, in the green color. So implementing DSP early is ideal, although it's beneficial at any stage. Starting DSP before a project kicks off allows for a deep understanding of the ecosystem, engaging with key parties to recognize the full spectrum of possible opportunities, setting a sustainable foundation for all future projects. This approach not only helps the project flow smoothly, but enhances its reception, creating a welcoming environment for further investment. Early DSP adoption can speed up permitting processes, shortening the overall project timeline. As you can see in this image, DSP begins before the project starts and evolves through the project life cycle. It expands during the operations phase and continues to drive prosperity after the mine's life has ended. Investors are crucial in this process, acting as catalysts for regional prosperity. Next slide, please. How to do it? It is a facilitated process of co-creation by key parties, focusing first on identifying the hidden human and natural resources potential, the essence of the region. Next, craft solutions that will form the pillars of the future economy based on the potential of natural resources along with water and energy needs, but also outline the necessary infrastructure needs and devise solutions for repurposing waste if waste is generated. The result, attractive investment packages, including business cases and roadmaps. Next, please. Integrated natural resource models are built, layering subsurface with geoscience, surface, and climate potential to visualize the hidden potential of the region, using geoscience to figure out how the earth was formed in the region, to identify new sources for water, energy, storage options, and even soil quality. Key is understanding the whole water cycle. Next, please. A facilitated process designed to unlock the full of both human and natural resources potential, to co-create system solutions for the region. The journey follows 7 steps. The first 2 steps focus on preparing and empowering the team so that they are open to collaborate and ready to embark in this journey. When the team is fully prepared, can only move into the planning phase. So the first step is ignite the human potential. The team breaks free of limitation and is open to collaborate. And they take this ability to the second step to expand the transformation to the entire region and dream a bold vision for the region. A breakthrough occurs in the third step. After reviewing the facts, the team realizes that these dreams are achievable. It is during this step that the most creative ideas come to light, and then only can move to the fourth step to create solutions ideally suited to the region to compete in the world market. After prioritizing the business cases using UN SDG indicators, the preferred path for maximum impact is selected. Then adapt the education system to provide the skills and tools to support the evolving economy. And finally, actions to create an environment to maintain the momentum and foster a culture of innovation and creative possibility. Next slide, please. What's unique with the ESP? Integrates all disciplines, has a scientific and societal transformation aspect. It is an experience. Key parties co-create the future for the region. Geoscience is key, focuses the knowledge economy, and is compliant with all UN SDGs. Next, please. Let's look at a couple of high-level case studies. Peru's south economy is driven by copper mining. Next slide, please. This region suffers from water scarcity. It has the world's highest levels of solar irradiance, as you've shown here. It also has geothermal potential. You can see a volcano to the right. This region also has good expertise in complex processes from the nearby smelters. So they can move from just being technology purchasers to leaders by showcasing their ability to adapt and evolve complex process technologies. One opportunity is advancing the direct solar seawater desalination technology by concentrated solar power, CSP. It's a complex thermal process, and this technology could be combined with geothermal energy to heat a dome structure to boil seawater, to evaporate and condense it as fresh water, a big, giant kettle. To lower the cost of this technology, high temperature processing and equipment know-how is needed. Peru can adapt these complex processes to the region, make them economically viable, and become a center of excellence for this know-how. This approach addresses the water scarcity, opening the door for precision agriculture and value-added food products. Next slide, please. In Canada's Northern Ontario Ring of Fire, a crucial ecosystem thrives above mineral deposits. Canada's peatlands encompass nearly half of the world's wetlands. They play a role in retaining water, sequestering around 60% of Canada's organic carbon in soils, mitigating flood, purifying water, and providing vital wildlife habitats. Peat soil can hold up to 30 times its weight in water. These peatlands store 3 times more carbon than a boreal or tropical forest for the same surface area. The main challenge is to maintain the environmental benefits of the peatlands, retaining the carbon sink features. So peatland regeneration becomes an opportunity for this region. It may be possible to develop a mining economy with minimum impact to the environment in this region, but develop a business case to keep the peatlands healthy. This region can be a hub for the knowledge of peatland hydrology, essential for peat stability and regenerate these vital ecosystems. Collaboration among key parties can turn this region into a hub for peatland hydrology knowledge and climate impact. We have an opportunity to redefine our relationship with nature and create solutions for balanced development. And I invite you to imagine what is possible. Next slide, please. I won't just leave you with a vision. I'll provide you with the tools and insights you need to turn those visions into reality in a book that will be published in July. I encourage you to ask questions, challenge the status quo, and be the driving force for change. The future is in our hands, and together we can make it brighter. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Doris, thank you so much for an absolutely fantastic conversation and sharing of what it is that you've been working on recently. With regards to all of this, and this comes from, I know that a number of the attendees that we have online were listening into the UN conference that took place last week, where, of course, we try to bring together a number of the different sources of value that might be in the ground beneath our feet. And I loved your diagram where you had that 3D cross-section through the earth, where you had everything from the water, and you mentioned the soil, etc. Do you see some of what you've just been describing being supported or in part encapsulated in some of those policy level models, or do you think that they're not quite capturing it yet? What are your thoughts?
I think one issue we have today is our silo way of approaching things, all the way from policies to mining companies. We are all organized in silos. Or we just do water, or we just do energy, or we just do environmental, and so on. And therefore, policies are also defined by, we'll give grants to build a solution for transport, for example. So in DSP, we are advocating a systems approach. So that the very onset, to figure out what's the real potential of the region and human potential, to figure out all the spectrum of possible opportunities. And that creates, baseline for projects to be also developed with sustainable principles. So it's a different, so this requires different way of thinking. And that's the reason, you know, you can have the greatest ideas and greatest technologies, but nothing happens if people aren't open and willing to. And that's the reason this method has the scientific approach, the facts, and the societal transformation. We need to think differently in order to, and we have our teacher, nature, you know, it's the nature to make this planet stable in the first place. How is it being done? You know, that's to establish a relationship with nature and learn from it rather than trying to break the balance.
Absolutely. And I mean, maybe Doris, is there anything from Stephen's talk that he obviously gave only moments ago, where he was talking about, you know, some of that value in going back into those brownfield sites and trying to extract value from, say, tailings facilities, etc. How does that weave into your model?
It's I believe we shouldn't be making any more tailings because there are technologies that can, you know, I believe that actually we shouldn't be extracting anything from the ground, but treat it where it is with innovative ways, so that geoscience, a process, is the future. That's for the future, but we have a legacy to deal with. And Steve is doing a super job in doing that. It's complementary because, as I said, DSP is better to do at the onset, but anytime is beneficial. So it could be, it will be like a brownfield asset. So what's possible, but not just look as a tailing facility, as a region. What's possible, you know, what's the human potential? What else is around there? What's possible? And then the tailing solution becomes a component of the system, amongst other things. And I believe if you look at things this way, it's a greater acceptance, because you move from being detailing the project or the mining project into the region. And because the region benefits all, everyone works together for the benefit of the region, there should be less conflict, more acceptance, and so on, but as a system. So it's complementary, of course.
And so, and I love, and I very much agree with you in terms of that, viewing everything as that interconnected system. In terms of kickstarting all of this, and we've already been hearing a little bit about this today, in terms of kickstarting it, who pays, or where are those initial mechanisms to get this whirring away nicely?
The easiest way is probably the main investor, because many of these extractive industry are in rural or semi-rural regions, and they could be one investor, a mining company usually. So the easiest probably, they can at least do the planning study. They can finance the planning study themselves plus the utility company or any other investor with vested interest in the future of the region. Because the planning doesn't cost much, but it goes a long way in getting accepted, having less conflict, because you are no longer the target. There is the regional prosperity becomes the main target, and you become a component of the system. So even our image, from being hated no matter what we do, to be loved because we become a force to benefit everyone. So I believe an easy way is that one, but any entity, any investor, or energy supplier, or the government, or academia. Another easy way is philanthropy linked with academia, for example, because it's also, DSP is a way to build an ecosystem of innovation with a market and a source, so that there's a focus for startups, there's a market, so it's based on facts rather than just invent anything, develop your startup and try to find the market that usually never opens. and survive, so thrive instead of surviving.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Doris, thank you so much. Thank you not only for sharing your glorious diagrams, but also everything that you're building at the moment. Good luck with the book. We will be posting that link lots throughout the course of this week. Everybody, please put your hands together for fantastic Doris. Thank you very much.